pushed congratulations on Twitter and wished the couple happiness. Rika Kahira, Daisuke Murakami, Takahito Mer, Takahiko Kazuka, Akiko Suzuki, Masato Komatsubara and Tim Coletto, Kento Nakamura also did not miss the news. The ANA airline assured of sincere support. Newsevery also congratulated their special envoy. Tokyo's Madame Tussauds did not stand aside, as did Citizen. Yuzuru was congratulated by the Tokyo Philharmonic Orchestra's Twitter account participating in the show gift, musician Suga Shikao, astronaut engineer Soichi Noguchi and many photographers. A total of 145 Chinese media reported about Yuzuru Hanyu's marriage. On the Chinese social network Weibo, the news received 132 billion views. Fans continue to leave their wishes for Yuzuru not only on social networks, but also go to temples to write down kind words on special wooden tablets. This sudden marriage has become a hot topic in China as well. The Chinese portal Sohu published an article titled "Who is Yuzuru Hanyu's wife?" In addition to sending a message of congratulations, he praised Hanyu for being attentive, which did not give any hints. First, the media reported that Hanyu announced his marriage on August 4th. The news was very unexpected, but everyone congratulated him magnificently. On the other hand, the 28-year-old, who boasts huge popularity in China, is charismatic and popular, saying, "There are endless stories about which woman Hanyu married." In China, Chania is affectionately called Yuzu. He knows how difficult it is to be in the media and in the public eye, and knows his influence on all fronts. "I don't want to be subjected to it," and praise his humanity, saying, "He's a real gentleman," and attracts many people in various ways. Finally, the media ended with a joke. "It doesn't matter who the other woman is, I'm really jealous that you married Yuzuru Hanyu. It must be Snow White." A lot of congratulations came from the same industry to professional figure skater Yuzuru Hanyu 28, who won 2 consecutive Olympic gold medals in men's figure skating, by announcing his social media registration on the 4th. Professional figure skater Akiko Suzuki, who played alongside Hanyu and Natsulata in March and competed with him at the 2014 Sochi Olympics, quoted Hanyu's report and wrote, "Congratulations. I wish you all the best in the future." Hanyu's classmate and professional figure skater Kanako Murakami also congratulated him, saying, "Yuzu, congratulations on your marriage." Rika Kahira, Toyota, winner of the 2018 Grand Prix final, said, "Congratulations on your wedding. I hope you can now live a wonderful life full of smiles. I will always support you. I wish you all the best." Ilya Melanin, USA, jumping axel in 4.5 turns, said, "Yuzuru, congratulations." In English. What's in store for the future after Yuzuru Hanyu's wedding announcement? Yuzuru Hanyu announced his wedding on social media on the 4th. There are no messages of passionate love or hints at all, and comments caring for fans and foes alike garner praise. I was surprised by the big news late Friday night, but being a figure skating fan, I suddenly wanted to see Mr. Hanyu perform 2 days ago, so I thought about it while watching the video. Khan is now 28 years old. In her registration announcement, she did not mention her partner or biography at all, but simply wrote, "With figure skating, I will do my best to move forward." He held a press conference to retire from competition in July 2022, and just 4 months later he was successful in his first solo ice show as a pro, so now is the time. This time when I heard breaking news, I remembered Ichiro. When Ichiro was 26 years old, in December 1999 he married Yumiko Fukushima, a former announcer 8 years his senior. After setting many records for the first time in Japanese professional baseball history, he decided to get married just before the Big League Challenge. His wife was already fluent in English at that time, and she was reportedly an excellent and reliable person who could be trusted with the management of food and property. In the case of Yuzuru Hanyu, this is the time when he achieved his goal of winning back-to-back Olympic titles, and successfully turned professional. It makes you feel like you have a partner who will support you emotionally, and that you are ready to take the next step. I can't help but pray for your future success and happy future. When hardworking people learn about marriage, every person has a time when they think about marriage. No matter who you're in a relationship with, there may be times when now is not the time to get married. Of course, there are times when I will marry the person I am currently dating when the time is right, but unfortunately, there are times when this is not the case. In the case of a marriage agency, people who are ready to get married immediately enter it, but in the general matchmaking scene, it is very important to select people at a time when their awareness of marriage is heightened. If one person thinks, I want to get married right now, and another thinks, maybe I want to get married in 5 years, it is best to meet on the premise of marriage, or to confirm the intention and time of marriage early in the dating process. However, in the case of a stoked partner burning with work, it is important to determine the time when the other party may decide to marry before talking about marriage. If you insist on talking about marriage when you say I can't think about marriage right now, even if the time comes, chances are people will question whether your values don't align and you'll stay around even after marriage. There are 3 times I give advice in a worries consultation. 1. When work settles down and a stable period comes, he is enthusiastic about his work. I was entrusted with an important job, and I can't afford to think about getting married right now. My first priority is to qualify and change jobs. Nothing but work now, some say. It's a good idea to talk about marriage at a time when you feel comfortable financially and psychologically, such as when your job is successful, you qualified, or you've decided to change jobs. 2. Before taking on big goals. Generally speaking, this is when the work settles, but some people, like Ichiro at the beginning, want to strengthen their home as a solid foundation when they say from now on. In the case of doctors, when they graduate from medical school, or when their intensive medical training ends, some people decide to marry the person they dated. In the case of lawyers and tax accountants, there are people who have passed the qualifying exam and are about to get married and start looking for work. 3. When you realize the right age. In terms of age, some people rely on age rather than external factors. The average marriage age for men is 31. In your 20s, you've just started working, and even if you want to freely pursue your work and personal life, there are many people who think vaguely about marriage in their 30s. In urban areas, people tend to marry later, and in some cases they are around 35 years old. If a man is in his 30s, it might be a good idea to ask his married friends about their values and thoughts on marriage. 4. When his friend got married. It's like age, but when my same-sex friends get married, my awareness of marriage increases. Whether it's a good friend's wedding, meeting a happily married friend, or when a friend has a baby, it's the perfect time for both men and women. Marriage suddenly becomes habitual, and people have a positive image of it. When you are aware of marriage at the time above, it is effective to talk about marriage and the future in a natural flow. Case study. The psychology of men who get married just before reaching a big goal. One person was an employee of a company with an annual income of 8 million yen. There have been many cases in the past where people got married after improving their skills and achieving success. They are said to have married around the same time. His personality did not change, but his position changed from working for a large company to that of a student, and he wanted to get married just before taking on the challenge of a big goal. The person I picked up was an independent nurse. Her mother was initially worried, asking, "Can I have zero income while in graduate school?" However, she explained his potential and they got married. After that, he successfully opened a business with an annual income of more than 30 million yen, and the two of them live a happy married life. Yuzuru Hanyu announced his social media registration on the 4th. In addition to an important milestone to note, the fact that the other site has not been announced is also a big topic. Speaking of Yuzuru Hanyu, he won 2 consecutive Olympic titles in 2014 and 2018, but since the beginning of his career, why is he so flexible not only in his body, but also in his mind? People were fascinated by the strength in which the flame lives in the eyes during the competition. In order to address the mystery, let's recall an article from the January 31, 2015 issue of Weekly Gendai that explores the teachings of the Hanyu family and their parents, who raised the genius figure skater Yuzuru Hanyu. His humble parents. At the press conference after the 2014-2015 Grand Prix final where he won consecutive titles, Yuzuru Hanyu was asked this question. There are many mothers who want to raise their children like Hanyu. Do you think they will grow up like Hanyu? With a slightly worried expression, Hanyu thought for a moment and then replied, "I am who I am. There are no identical people, there are 10 different people. I have many shortcomings. I think I can happily grow bigger." Strong mental strength to withstand adversity, a polite attitude towards everyone. When I saw Yuzuru Hanyu, I can understand how mothers want their children to grow up like that. However, there are times when I spot sea base. What kind of people are Hanyu's parents? If you can't answer that question. This is because Hanyu's parents never gave interviews or appeared on stage. Sendai Land in Tohoku, where Yuzuru Hanyu was raised. The reason Yuzuru's parents don't show up is because he thinks he's doing his best and his parents don't care. I have nothing to say. They are both reserved and talk little, like the parents of the Tohoku people. This was explained by a friend close to the Hanyu family. If the son is humble, then the parent must be humble. What kind of upbringing was carried out in the Hanyu family, and how did the brilliant Yuzuru Hanyu grow up? To find out the secret, this magazine flew to Hanyu's hometown, Sendai. Hanyu was born and raised in the Izumi district of Sendai. His father works as a vice principal of a junior high school, his mother is a full-time housewife, and his sister, who is 4 years older than him, works as an employee at Sendai Ice Rink, Hanyu's home ice rink. The prefectural home where Hanyu was born and raised was about 20 minutes by car from Sendai Station. Figure skating is a sport that costs a lot of money, such as shoes, clothes and ice rink fees. I can't do it without my family's support. Hanyu's family is not poor because their father is a civil servant, but they don't much money. The rent is 50,000. I live modestly on yen. To save money, my mother made Yuzuru costumes 3 years ago. Reported by a family friend mentioned above. I searched in the snow for the Hanyu family sign, but I couldn't find it. My neighbor told me this. After you won the gold medal, you were bombarded with interviews at home. That is why, around October last year, 2014, Mr. Hanyu moved into an apartment in Sendai. Yuzu himself is trying his best. This time I visited the homes of his maternal grandparents in the city of Sendai. When I told them I was here for an interview, his grandmother said on the intercom, "I'm sorry you came all the way from Tokyo, but I can't talk about my grandchildren." However, when I asked for a little bit, they quietly answered. I believe that Hanyu's humanity is the result of the education he received from his parents and the people around him. No, the parents of this child were just doing what they had to do. I didn't do anything special. Does the Hanyu family have a family motto? Yuzu's parents raised him, so we're not in a position to talk about it. It would be a shame to live on if an article was published about us, grandparents, talking about different things. Even if you become famous, everyone, including your parents, won't come. Is this the policy of the Hanyu family? Yuzu himself is trying his best. I think Hanyu is a player who received a good education from his parents. I think not my daughter but my father was a great teacher. We are normal people. Continued in the second part. From the issue of the Weekly Jendai Weekly dated January 31st, 2015.